I'm DJ Chinchilla with KRSM Radio, and tonight I've got Skulls of Tomorrow with me, the self-proclaimed greatest punk band in Lakeville. How are y'all tonight? Could you introduce yourselves and what you do with the band?
Well, I'm Oliver. I'm the guitarist and vocalist, and I'm like 15, so a little baby boy. But I've been playing for probably since 8th grade, and I wanted to originally play because I just wanted to play a song for my Phi Ed teacher of all things. But other than that, that's about it.
Can you tell us what Phi Ed is?
Well, physical education is a class in middle school and high school and elementary school where you can go and learn about your physical education and work out, play sports, play games.
Hello, I am Jacob. I play drums.
I am Donald. I'm great tonight, doing good tonight. I am the bassist in the band, and I do backup vocals. I've been playing bass for about 4 years. I practice every day.
Awesome. Well, Skulls of Tomorrow formed back in 2023. How did the band come together?
So, originally, Jake and I were family friends. We've been family friends probably since he was born, since our parents used to know each other from the punk scene back in the 90s and 2000s. And at the Circle Jerks and Descendants show in 2023, we saw each other there, and we're like, wait, you're into this stuff too? So after we saw that, we got super excited, and we're like, hey, maybe we should start a band. So then we started this band, originally called the Weird Beards, and we made the song Toothache in about 5 minutes. And yeah.
So yeah, Oliver showed me a video of him playing guitar, and that's when I forgot he played guitar. And so then, that's what he said, plus the video, and then we played some Descendants songs in my basement. Played Toothache, and I played bass for a little bit.
And your current bassist, how did you end up in the band?
So I joined last year in July, I'm pretty sure. I think so. My brother went to the new barbershop, Oliver's dad's barbershop. He saw the poster on the wall that says, "Punk band needs new bassist," and I saw some of my favorite bands on there for their recommended tastes. So I contacted that and invited him over to do practice in my garage. And I figured out Oliver was an old friend I had from years past that I never saw again. So I was really excited to meet him and become better friends with Oliver. Since then, it's history. That's what we're doing now.
All right. So your first show and demo came around in about October 2024. What all went into that first demo and show?
So we had this old Tascam tape player, like a 4-track tape player that my dad used to have, and we decided, hey, maybe we should make some songs just for the heck of it. So we booted that thing up, tried to get some stuff going. It was a real headache to try and get that started, but once we got it, I think it went pretty smooth. And then once we had those put out, a friend of mine had this Halloween party going on, and they wanted some entertainment. So I offered for our band to play at their party, and he was very excited to do that. So we played there, and that was our first house show. That was a lot of fun, and we ended up somehow getting paid for that. I have no idea how.
Yeah, big money, $100 bill. It was great. Remember, he said it went smoothly. I
think it went pretty smoothly.
Milk Me, the first recording of Milk Me, you got like.
The
that
recording?
that was the match for seeing you. You grabbed the book and you were like, "God, fucking damn!"
Oh, you said that. Said the short word.
We'll cut it out. It's fine.
But I did get pretty mad during that first recording, because that recording process with that tape player is such a hassle. I cannot get through with my head. It's like a blood clot popping in my head.
Back in March, you guys played your first festival, local festival. What was it like going from playing in people's backyards and at talent shows to a festival?
It was great time, First you're playing on his dad's drum set, then you're playing on a drum set on a stage, and that's nice because different drum set, it's change. I don't gotta do stuff. Donald, you do the rest of this, man.
All right. It was pretty sweet. I mean, it was honestly we got a lot more support than I was expecting. I mean, when we played at the backyard show, you know, it was like we had to bring all our own stuff in my minivan. It isn't even a large van, you know, the old Town and Country. So we stuffed everything in. We didn't have room in the back for Jasper, so we had to sit on top of like a bunch of boxes and stuff in the back. So then when we played at the festival, all we had to bring was our instruments, which was pretty nice, which I do not expect to happen again, if I'm being honest. Or maybe that's just a thing with shows, is that people share more instruments. But that was one of the things that stood out to me.
And another thing about playing at the Hook and Ladder for the first time was that we were the first ever band to play in that room to get a mosh pit going, because they had a smaller room with a smaller stage, and it's a pain in the butt to try and get anything going in there, but we somehow did it. And we were also the first ever all-ages band to play at the Hook and Ladder, which I think was a big step towards that place, and I think it'd be cool to play there again sometime, just for the heck of it.
Skulls of Tomorrow's first single, Sleep Deprivation, came out in January 2025, and your self-titled EP came out in March 2025. Can you tell me about the influences and the songwriting/recording of those releases?
So a lot of those songs, a lot of the lyrics were originally written by Jake, and the instruments were done by Donald and I. So like for Milk Me, Jake wrote the lyrics for that, and I just kind of played along with it. Same with Donald. But then there are songs like Propane where Donald and I took the lead and wrote most of the lyrics and stuff. And I think it definitely shows in the writing style, since with Jake's work, it's definitely a lot sillier and a lot more like just trying to have fun, when Donald and I is more serious and trying to like get a point across.
For influences on previously mentioned Propane, some of my I'm largely influenced when I'm writing punk with the more grindcore tendencies and faster and punchier. And like specifically the bass part in the beginning, I was listening to a lot of Crowbar, and I still do, the band. So the bass line at the beginning is hugely influenced by that. But the rest of the song is more influenced by the distorted bass lines of like Napalm Death, Brutal Truth and stuff. And the recording process was pretty fun for me. I mean, I did have to re-record a lot of bass lines and stuff, but it's all in a day's work, you know. It's the recording process. You got to stay positive about it, and that's one of the biggest things I think a lot of people how do I describe this? They don't like a lot of the things with the band. A lot of people see it as work, when like you got to take a more positive attitude and see it more as fun. And like if you're not having fun, like take a break. You know, everything doesn't have to be 100% grind all the time. You know.
So some of our other influences, to go back to that, we definitely try and go towards a lot of the older punk aesthetic with stuff like Bad Religion and Minor Threat. And so plenty of those I try and think about when writing my riffs, because they're very simple, very fast, just power chords through and through. But lately I've been looking more into the local scene with stuff like Left and Rot and like Mary Jam and a couple other of those, where it's more like, how do I explain this? It's more complex. You write your single note leads and you're trying to do like more interesting chords. And even with things like, I've been looking into like some other types of genres, and they do like more open chord style stuff, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So with some of my personal stuff that I've been writing, has been making some of that stuff, and it's been pretty cool. But I like to keep it simple here.
In your song Sleep Deprivation, you mention stabbing your wife. Is this lyric at all relatable to the band?
Very much so. So I was sitting there in bed, right here on the couch. I see Oliver's wife walks down the stairs. He just runs out and stabs her right in the stomach, like 5 times. It was crazy.
It's brutal.
Never seen Oliver act out like that before.
Never seen that much blood in my whole life. Work at a meat processing plant.
Couldn't go to
Never
sleep.
seen it like that.
I was having a nightmare. I thought it was a unicorn.
Couldn't go to sleep, so I wrote the song about Oliver stabbing his wife. That's exactly how it went down. Guaranteed.
All right, you got any advice for those in the scene?
Oh boy. Oh god, I don't have like any advice.
Play.
Stay active is something I want to say. Go to shows as much as you can, and just be involved. A lot of people just stay in their bedrooms and like talk online and stuff, and I mean that's a product of our age, but that's a form of punk resistance. Is you got to get out there and be involved physically, and keep it hard and fast. You know, keep it punk.
Write what you want to write about.
And you got to talk to people. Make sure you got to talk to people, because part of the scene is staying in touch and getting connections, and to do that you need to be as vocal and as active and social as possible. So lately we've all been going to shows a lot more, trying to get our name out, trying to make friends, trying to get rid of enemies. But we've been just trying to talk to venues, talk to bands, trying to see what works, what doesn't, and that's part of the big thing, just to look around, because every scene is different. You have to make sure what fits for yours, and even if you don't fit in there, you can make yourself fit, make your own type, make your own style fit, make your own sound fit. That's what it's all about.
And don't be afraid, like with what Oliver is saying, is like, don't be afraid. Like you see split bills where like there's bands with different styles of music. Don't be like afraid to like enter your local scene if you're like, I don't know, there's no bands like, for example, that play like avant-garde jazz, punk, slam metal or something. Like you can play on a split bill. Like obviously there's people into hard music no matter what. So that's my advice.
Having played several shows and put out your first EP, what's next for Skulls of Tomorrow?
So I believe that we have not had a whole bunch going on as of now, but we're definitely writing many, many more songs. We're trying to start recording some stuff maybe professionally, and we're trying to talk to venues, trying to get some shows going. So we don't really have any setup as of now. However, we have made some connections. We talked to places like Pillar Forum and Seward Cafe and Clash Drums. They're all great places to get your band going. However, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed because Clash is like not doing anything over the summer, which is kind of bumming me out.
Same with Flying V. The Flying V is one of my favorite venues ever, and they're not booking any more shows. So that's another thing with people in the local scene, is why it's important to support your local venues and go to shows as much as you can, is because these places where you can feel accepted and you can express yourself are being opposed by like every force imaginable. Like cities don't a lot of the times, like people in cities complain about the noise or complain about this, complain about that. More investment in our local scene will keep these places running.
Garage, they stopped doing shows too, and when Oliver found out, remember you were gonna plan a show there for us.
Yeah, we were just about to start. I was just about to message them, see if we could get a show going, and then, not 3 hours before I was sent that, I saw they were closing down, and I was super shocked because I saw from a friend of mine, who, she does her own style of her own type of music going on. She'd played her first show at the Garage and was super excited about it and was gonna play more there, until she told me the place is shutting down. So I was obviously shocked, and I was confused what to go for next, because at the time that was the big place I knew about, since it's close to our area. It's south of the city, so the people who would be interested in us that are in our schools in our area wouldn't have to worry about going to Minneapolis, because there's definitely some very upset moms about that kind of thing. But there's always another place, there's always another time, there's always somewhere else you can go.
Yeah. My brother's friend Camden used to work at this place, and they still really like him, and they have a stage. And so he's saying we can do a show there probably. So.
Do you remember the name of that place?
No, but it's some bar and grill place. It's not Babes.
Not Babes. Okay. Is there anybody you would like to shout out?
Chris L, Ola C, Matthew B.
Shout out to Death Exhibit.
And then shout out to the morning after. That's the lady I was talking about earlier, who she's a senior at my school, almost 19, and she's got some very interesting music. It's definitely not this style, but it's pretty cool to listen to nonetheless.
Shout out to Bad Idea.
But yeah, to Bad Idea for helping us book our first show, because they were a huge help, and the Menstrual Tramps as well for helping us with that as too.
You made it. I got a couple side projects solo going on that I'm looking for members for. And your guitarist, your drummer, or bassist, anybody, contact me.
And where can people find you and your band?
On Instagram, and my personal account is at cranial_impalement98.
If you're into bands like Crass, Subhumans, and Alice in Chains, I'm looking for people too. Just go to Instagram and search up Jacob Jakey. I can search it up. You talk.
You can go to the Instagram Jacob Jakey. I think it's Jacob_Jakey, right? Okay.
Yeah, so that's JAKUB_JAKEE. That one.
And if anyone's just looking for some random regular punk band as well, something maybe a little more emo oriented, you can just message the band's Instagram, and I'll help you out.
Okay, Skulls of Tomorrow band something. I don't know the full email thing for the...
Oh, it's just skullsoftomorrow@gmail.com. You can also find us on @SOTBandOfficial on Instagram and Facebook, I believe. We're on all platforms, so if you want to listen to that, go ahead.